We ready?
And I don't think he realizes he can twist it.
Now we'll call.
I think it's just that's how we
We have a motion to approve today's agenda.
I move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, say the same sign. Hearing none, the minute passed, the motion passes. New business. Okay, is that Courtney? Okay.
Good morning. All right. So in front of you, you should see a memo here that should be labeled Fall 2020 Firefighter Hiring Process. And so what I'd like to do is just simply present this process to you, and then at the end, I would like a motion to approve it, should you approve it. The way that this process will work is we are hoping to actually post the position on October 1st of this next month. So applications will be accepted from October 1st through November 1st of 2020. We will administer the nationally recognized candidate physical ability test, which is also referred to as the CPAT often, on 4 different dates. So the test includes 8 events: the stair climb, the hose drag, equipment carry, ladder raise and extension, forcible entry, search, rescue, and ceiling breach and pool. Each component must be passed as outlined by the National Testing Network, so those guidelines are preset for us. The city will administer a written exam on 2 dates as well as allow candidates to, for the first time, take this test virtually upon passing the CPAT. So that is something new that candidates will have an opportunity to do, and we're really excited about that. This test includes mathematical reasoning, deductive reasoning, written comprehension, written expression, emotional stability, adaptability, and safety orientation. The candidate must pass the written exam with a score of at least 70%, and study guides are available to the applicants. So we as the city will provide applicants with a study guide for the written exam. A comprehensive background check will be conducted based on information submitted by the candidate in a personal history questionnaire. All finalists will be interviewed by a panel and must score an average of 8, which is adequate, on a scale of 10. And then the cumulative weight of the process is the written exam is 30% and the final interview is 70%. Okay? That's about it. Does anyone have any questions?
I do, Courtney.
Sure.
So what kind of questions are you going to ask them in the interview?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, truthfully, we are compiling the questions that we would like to get together for the interview process. The interview process is really to be able to see, are they adaptable? Do they have an ability to communicate with a variety of different types of people? We will go ahead and look at the previous questions that were asked the last time around and see again if those questions are still relatable to the candidates that we have currently. But what I can do is when we are ready for that interview process, prior to getting to the interview process, I would be happy to share those questions with you all.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I don't know if this is working or not. Can you hear me okay?
I can, but I will admit I'm not sure if your mic is.
Okay.
There you go. I know, it's a little distracting.
How many how many openings are you anticipating for the next year?
Sure. You know what? I'm going to ask the chief to answer that question for me.
Good morning, Mike Carlson, the fire chief. At this time, we have probably 2 to 4 people that are looking to retire during that 2-year period. There's always a lot of variables such as financial conditions with the city and things of that sort, unforeseen retirements, but there will be some people taken off this list.
Okay. And do you hire basically just once a year, you know, the fall?
We hire as needed.
Okay.
And typically what we'll do is we'll wait till we have a group of anywhere from 3 to 4, ideally, because we have an 8-week training period that we put these individuals through internally within the fire department. With that, they acquire their Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, hazmat operations. So when they hit the street, they're ready to actually do the things they need to do.
Very good. Thank you.
How many firefighters are there?
Right now, we have 135 budgeted full-time employees.
And I have a question.
Yes.
Who does the interview? Who's the one, what is the panel that does the interview?
In the past, who we've had in the panel, we've had myself, we've had our fire marshal, our operations chief, and someone from HR has been part of the process too. And we had an outside person. Last time, we had someone from the local police department as that outside opinion.
Oh, okay, thank you. Anybody else? Any further questions? We need a vote on this? Okay, I would entertain a motion on the process for hiring fire people.
I make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the matter? Seeing and hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
And is there any old business anyone wants to bring up? I guess not. So we'll go on to the certification list.
All right. All right, so the first list that we have up is the Utility Service Inspector. This particular position is a promotional within the Engineering Division of Public Works. The written examination was counted at 100% of the overall process, and this is a part of the ASME union. So the minimum qualifications, they include a high school diploma, 3 years of responsible experience in the public inspection field, at least 1 year of which must involve utility inspection. They also must become an Iowa resident within 2 years of hire date if they're not already an Iowa resident as a current employee. So the Utility Service Inspector, we actually had 5 applicants. 4 of the 5 were qualified and invited to participate in the examination. 2 of the candidates passed the examination, and that is why we have 2 on the certification list today.
If anybody has any questions, any time to speak up.
All right, the Administrative Support Specialist. This is an entry-level position within the Customer Service Division of Public Works. The written examination was taken at 100% for this process. This too is also a part of the ASME union. So with this particular position, I'm not sure if you remember, but I actually brought this position to you all as it was a new position maybe 2 meetings ago. And so we agreed that a bachelor's degree or 3 years of office clerical work would be a minimum qualification. Requires considerable typing, computer skills, especially in Microsoft Office Suite program. They must pass a criminal background check, as with all of our positions, and they also must become an Iowa resident within the 2-year hire mark. So this was a very large process. You'll see that we had 171 applicants. Of the 171, we had 167 candidates that were qualified and invited to participate in this examination. 58 candidates passed the examination with a 70% or above. 44 scored below the 70%. 3 withdrew ahead of time, and then 62 did not show. So based on Rule 2.8, we can actually only take 15 of the individuals, and you'll notice that we actually had 58 pass. So what we do is we take the top 15 in score order, okay? And that's how we get to our mark. So you will notice that we have 15 candidates that are on that list. All 15 passed the background check, and that's how we ended up there today.
How many positions are there?
As of right now, we have 1 open position, and this list is good for 1 year. But there could, you never know, there could be an opening throughout the year, and then we'll have more candidates to choose from.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, GIS specialist. This is an entry-level position at Public Works. We actually did a split with this one. So the written examination at 30%, the interview component at 70%, and this too is a part of the ASME union. So with the GIS specialist, you do have to have a bachelor's degree in GIS or related field, 2 years of GIS work experience utilizing the ESRIs, the ARC GIS software, or a combination of education and experience. And you do have to have 2 years of work experience in GPS, surveying fields, collection, preparation, and so forth. You, again, must pass a criminal background check, and again, must become an Iowa resident at the 2-year mark.
Okay, I'm gonna sound really dumb.
No,
What does GIS mean?
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up our subject matter expert, just in case you have any additional questions.
Clay Merritt, Public Works. GIS stands for Geographic Information System, so it's our mapping software.
And we do a lot of that?
Yes. So all of the city's assets, specifically from a public works standpoint, our manholes, intakes, streets, all of that is we have an inventory system, and that's through the software.
Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
I've come to learn quite a bit about GIS. It's very interesting. Okay, so for this particular position, we had 59 applicants. 51 of the candidates were actually qualified and invited to participate in the examination. 7 of those candidates participated in the examination, and 6 candidates passed with a 70% or above. 1 scored below a 70%, and then we did have 5 withdraw ahead of time. We had 3 candidates that passed the interview component, and therefore we have 3 candidates that passed the background check and are on the list for certification today.
59 applicants, that's a lot of applicants.
Yeah, the one
I mean, I'm just wondering if these are, students who just got out of college, because I think a bachelor's degree is required.
That is correct. And to be honest, of the candidates that we did have come and test, most of them were right out of college.
Okay.
All right, next we have network and desktop support technician. This is an entry-level position in our information technology department. We have the written examination at 100% for this component, and this is actually a non-bargaining position. So for this particular position, you need associate's degree in the field of computer science and 3 years related work experience or an equivalent combination of training and experience. Again, passing the background check. You must maintain a valid driver's license throughout your term of employment here, as you may need to drive to multiple sites for this particular position, and you must become an Iowa resident within 2 years of the hire date. So for this position, we had 49 applicants. 42 of the candidates were qualified and invited to participate in the examination. 25 of those candidates passed the examination with a 70% or above. 3 scored below the 70%. 3 withdrew, and then 11 did not show. Again, that rule, the 2.8 comes in handy at this point in time. We can only take 15, so we take the top 15. However, you'll notice that we actually have 16 people on that list, and that's because we actually had a tie at the 15th mark. So that's why we keep that person with them.
How many positions are available for this?
For that one, we have 1 open position at this time.
Is it usual to have this many applicants for these jobs?
At this, no, I will tell you in my experience in the last year, we have seen an uptick in the number of applicants at this time of year. Okay, Planner 2. This is an entry-level position in Development and Neighborhood Services Division. We did a 30-70 split for this one, and this too is a part of the AFSCME union. You have to have a bachelor's degree in urban planning or closely related field and 2 years experience, a master's degree in urban planning, and or a AICP certification is desirable. You must pass a background check. Again, you must maintain throughout your duration of employment a valid driver's license, as you will be expected to drive to various sites. And then you must become an Iowa resident within 2 years of hire and maintain that residency throughout your employment with us. So for this position, we had 31 applicants. 16 of the 31 were qualified and invited to participate in the examination. 5 candidates passed the examination with a 70% or above. 3 scored below the 70%, and then we had 8 that did not show. 3 candidates passed the interview, and that is why we have 3 on the list for certification today.
Okay, any questions?
I have a question, and it's about all this in general. If you look through all these lists, the lack of diversity is glaring. I mean, it really is glaring. What are we trying to do to encourage more people to apply?
Okay, there we go. All right, Heidi. So we are addressing that as a city right now in a variety of ways. The first is on some of our more critical positions, especially within public safety. So our police and fire, we are doing several applicant workshops. Through that, we are reaching out very, very directly to partner agencies. And I think you saw that hopefully in the memo from Courtney, all the different ways that we're trying to reach out to a variety of folks and hoping that we do get a more diverse applicant pool, especially within those 2 service areas. Beyond that, we're meeting pretty regularly right now with leaders from the NAACP. We are going to start partnering with them on some training and delivering kind of resume workshops and how to become a city employee and what you can do as a government employee. I think a lot of times people don't even know that these jobs exist and they don't know how to find them. So I think that's part of it is we need to do better at that, and we can do better. So I do want you to know that from a city leadership standpoint, that we're all actively engaged, in our mayor also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay, the people who withdraw, do they withdraw because they got another job, or do they tell you why?
Sometimes they'll tell me why. So oftentimes they'll shoot me an email, which is nice ahead of time, so I'm not expecting them, and just say, hey, I accepted another job offer, or after further review, I'm no longer interested, or whatever the case may be.
Okay, do we need a vote on these as a group? Do I have a motion?
I move that we certify the lists.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They all pass.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, having no other business on the list, I presume we can entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Only have to hang around and sign the list.